I'm on my property and I'm walking back to a spot where I'm gonna pull a tree stand. I'm gonna use that tree stand this week to hang and hunt with a bunch on some public ground. So my buddy from college, Cole Oliver, is gonna be meeting me at this spot. He was wanting to check it out, and it's kind of a halfway spot in between us. So I'm gonna be out there hunting and scouting for the next 3 days, and he's gonna get here in 4 days. Well, I just dropped back in here, heard something take off, and it was a big buck. The buck was bedded just right underneath this bush right here. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with the DeQuistos, but they do something that they call the bump and dump. I've never tried it before, but it sounds fun and it seems like something that could potentially work, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm grabbing my stand, sticks, camera gear, and I'm headed back to that scrape that I just found. There's a pin oak tree about 10 yards from the scrape that I think is gonna work. I'm gonna climb up in that and sit the evening out, see what happens. It's 5:30 a.m. Friday morning. Cole's behind me. We're both driving out to this spot. He came in late last night. We're gonna hunt the same spot that I jumped those bucks up on Tuesday.
We just got set up in our tree for the sit tonight. I feel like we got in a pretty good spot. We're right on the edge of some thick bedding cover. Hopefully they come through. We'll see what happens.
So that little montage of clips was how last week went hunting on public ground. As you could tell, we didn't have a whole lot of luck. Temperatures were pretty warm. Found some good sign and set up in some places we thought were pretty good, just didn't have any bucks come out. But while I was hunting out there on that public, I was also running trail cameras here on the property I live on. There's 40 acres here, and I hunted here a few times. We've been getting pictures of this 10 point here on my computer screen. Thought he was pretty big when we first started getting pictures of him. Was really excited about him. And then actually I went in to hunt him one morning, just a couple hundred yards from here out in our timber. Had really high winds and it just rained, so it was really calm conditions. So I was sneaking in there as quiet as I could. And I got to the point where I knew my tree was close, and so I was swinging my red headlight from left to right, looking for the tree where my sticks were on. I saw a set of eyes reflecting back at me, and sure enough, deer stands up. He's 30 yards from me, and I could see with my headlamp clear as day that it was this 10-point buck. And when I saw him there close up on the ground, I realized he was a pretty young buck. He's probably 3 years old. So after that, I really quit hunting here because I wasn't getting any pictures of other big bucks. Well, then I went out to check my camera a couple days ago, and I thought I was getting more pictures of him at a scrape and then also up along the field edge. But then I ended up realizing that it wasn't him, because in this picture, as you can tell, the one eye is reflecting back at the camera because of that LED flash. The other eye is not reflecting at all. And it's the same way in several other pictures. It's actually a completely different 10-point, and it's one that me and Dad ran into last year. Actually had half of his rack broken off at the main beam, and we were gonna shoot him. We ended up passing him because he was missing half of his rack. And I know it was that same deer because that same deer, I had trail camera pictures of him last year with half the rack broken off, and the eye again was not reflecting back at the trail camera. So it's the same buck. This one's, he's got to be at least 4 years old. Really nice, tall tines, and I think he showed up on the 20th, the 24th, and the 26th on our property. He still hasn't daylighted here, but it's getting to be that time of year where you never know when they will daylight. The 26th he came through. He actually exited the field at 5:45, and funny enough, I woke up at like 5:40 that same day, turned on the lights in my house, and from where he's standing right there, he would be able to see my house. So I think he was out in the cornfield feeding around, and he probably saw the lights come on and got the heck out of there. So he's in the area quite a bit. We're really hoping to shoot this buck, especially since we actually have a little bit of history with him. Again, on these small properties, we don't control the bedding area. We rarely see the same buck 1 year after the next. So actually tomorrow morning, me and Dad are gonna go in and hopefully kill this buck. We're gonna hunt right over a scrape where I hung his set and hunted that other 10-point a couple weeks ago. And hopefully he comes in and hits that scrape right by that trail camera tomorrow morning, and we can get a shot at him. Thanks for following along with us so far this year. We'll see you guys on the next video.